Welcome back to Mysteries in the Dark, the podcast where history whispers and we lean in to listen. I'm your host, Luna Sparks, and joining me in the studio, as always, is my co-host, the ever-charming, always curious Omar Trekker.
Luna, it's great to be back. And from the sounds of that intro, we're not just leaning in tonight, we might be holding our breath. That was ominous in the best way.
Oh, you know it. Today, we're shining a light on a name that rarely makes the history books, but absolutely should. Her name is Larcena Page. You may not recognize it yet, but trust us, by the end of this episode, you won't forget it.
I can already tell this is going to be one of those stories that sticks with you. When you first told me about Larcena, I was just blown away. It's the kind of tale that makes you question what you thought you knew about human limits.
Exactly. Omar and I went down the research rabbit hole on this one, and what we uncovered is a story of survival, resilience, and quiet strength that feels almost unbelievable. It's the kind of history that hides in the shadows, until now.
And Luna, you really hit the nail on the head earlier. Some people, they just carry this small, stubborn flame inside them. It's not loud, it doesn't roar, but no matter how hard the world tries to crush it, it just refuses to go out. Larcena Page, she was one of those people.
Absolutely. Her story really illustrates that survival isn't always about brute strength or some heroic rescue. Sometimes it comes down to something far more fragile and far more dangerous to lose, that inner resolve.
So let's set the scene for our listeners. We're talking about 1860, right? The very edge of the Arizona Territory. This wasn't some bustling city. This was untamed, rugged land.
That's right. Picture this: Fort Buchanan, a lonely military outpost tucked where Sonoyta Creek cut through rugged mountain country. Larcena and her husband, John Page, had built a life there, the kind of life settlers carved out with equal parts hope and risk. It was a frontier existence, demanding courage daily just to get by.
And the Apache lands surrounded the fort, right? So tensions were always high. This wasn't a peaceful time. There was a constant simmer over territory and survival. Everyone knew danger existed, but you never expected to land right on your doorstep silently.
Precisely. It was February, a seemingly ordinary frontier morning. John, her husband, was away from the fort. Larcena was just going about her chores near the creek, completely unaware that she was being watched. That's the chilling part, isn't it? The unseen eyes.
Oh, absolutely. The suddenness of it is what really hits you. The attack came without warning. Apache warriors struck swiftly. Larcena was overwhelmed, stabbed again and again, beaten with rocks and clubs until her body just collapsed. It's hard to even imagine that level of violence and brutality.
It truly is. And when they were finished, they rolled her down a steep canyon slope, leaving her broken among stone and brush. To them, the matter was settled. No one could survive that, by any measure of the time, or hours. They were absolutely right. It was a death sentence.
But that's not where the story ends, is it? This is where the truly incredible part begins. Hours later, as darkness settled over the mountains and the temperature dropped to freezing, Larcena Page opened her eyes.
Goosebumps, Omar. Every single time I read that. Just opened her eyes. Can you imagine? The pain must have been everywhere. Her chest and back torn open with deep wounds, her skull fractured, blood soaking what was left of her dress. When she tried to stand, her legs just failed completely. They might as well have belonged to someone else.
She was utterly broken by all accounts, and yet she did the only thing left to her. She crawled, one hand forward, then the other, dragging her body inch by inch over rock and sand, leaving behind a trail she couldn't even see in the dark.
Every movement must have sent agony tearing through her. Every single breath must have felt borrowed. That first night, it must have been absolutely endless. She stopped often, not to rest, but because the pain literally stole the air from her lungs.
And the elements. Thirst became unbearable. She found these tiny pockets of snow trapped between rocks and let them melt on her tongue. When hunger made her dizzy, she chewed pine needles and buds, anything she could force herself to swallow. Cactus spines shredding her hands, sharp stones splitting her skin. Then the fever came in waves, blurring the world into light and shadow.
It's not just the injuries, is it? It's the sheer desolation, the isolation. And the coyotes, they followed her at night, close enough that she could hear them moving, close enough that she knew if she stopped for too long, she wouldn't be alone. That's a level of terror I can barely comprehend.
And still she kept going, despite everything. This is what truly beggars belief. Historical records suggest Larcena crawled nearly 15 miles over 14 days. Think about that, just over a mile a day. For most of us, that distance disappears in minutes in a car, or even walking. For her, every mile was a negotiation with death.
A negotiation, yes. It wasn't a choice. It was a battle for every single inch. She followed creek beds whenever she could, knowing water meant direction, and direction meant possibility. She held on to any sliver of hope she could find in that vast, unforgiving landscape.
As exhaustion hollowed her out, and pain threatened to take her mind with it, she found a single anchor, something that kept her tethered to reality. She whispered her husband's name, John, again and again, sometimes out loud, sometimes only in her mind.
That's the emotional core of it, isn't it? Witnesses later believed this small act saved her. That name became her rhythm, her reason, the thin thread tying her to the life she refused to release. It's not a grand declaration, just a quiet, desperate whisper that became her lifeline.
It speaks volumes about the human spirit, about what we cling to when everything else is stripped away. And then, on the 14th day, after all that, a patrol from Fort Buchanan noticed something moving in the brush. At first, they nearly rode past it.
Can you imagine the sight? Only when they stopped and looked closely did they realize what they were seeing. A woman, or what remained of one. Her body was skeletal, skin hung loose, caked with dirt and dried blood. Her wounds were infected. She barely resembled someone who should still be alive.
But her eyes, they were clear, awake, unyielding. That's the part that it hits you. Even after all of that, the fire was still there, burning bright. The soldiers carried her back to the fort, certain she wouldn't survive the journey. They were wrong again.
Oh, what a phrase. They were wrong again. It's like she defied every expectation, every logical outcome, every single step of the way. The fort's doctor treated her with what little he had. Recovery took weeks, then months. Slowly, impossibly, her body healed. The scars never left her, but neither did her strength.
And this is the incredible, truly inspiring part of Larcena's story. She went on to live 75 years. 75. Long enough to see Arizona become a state, long enough to tell her grandchildren about the days when survival meant moving forward 1 inch at a time.
75 years of life, after being left for dead at what, her early 20s? It's astounding, it really is. For anyone raised to believe that quitting is always an option, Larcena's story asks something much harder, doesn't it?
It does. It asks, what do you cling to when everything else is stripped away? She didn't know rescue was coming. She didn't know crawling would save her. She had no guarantees, only a single reason to keep moving when stopping would have been so much easier.
It wasn't a dramatic moment of self-discovery or some heroic speech she gave herself. It was just the quiet, stubborn decision to move 1 more inch. That kind of refusal doesn't announce itself with fanfare, but it changes everything.
It really does, and it makes you think, doesn't it? What moment in your own life taught you that kind of stubborn, quiet endurance, the kind that keeps going when no one is watching? We all have those small battles.
I think we all do, to varying degrees. Maybe it wasn't crawling 15 miles across a desert, but it was getting through a particularly tough project at work, or dealing with a personal setback, or just getting out of bed on a day when you really didn't want to. That quiet one more inch decision is universal, in a way.
It's true. Sometimes that inch is just getting dressed, or sending that one email. But the resolve behind it, the refusal to just give in, it's the same core human strength. Larcena's story amplifies it to an almost mythological scale, but the essence is there in all of us.
And that's why her story resonates so deeply. It's not just a historical account of survival, it's a mirror reflecting our own capacity for resilience. For me, I remember a time when I was training for a marathon and I hit that wall. Every fiber of my being wanted to stop, but I just kept telling myself, one more step, one more block, and eventually I crossed the finish line. It felt monumental at the time, even if it wasn't life or death.
Oh, that's such a great example, Luna. For me, it was probably during college. I had this really intense semester, balancing work and classes, and there were days I just felt completely overwhelmed, like I couldn't possibly push through. But I just focused on one assignment at a time, one chapter, one meeting, just putting one foot in front of the other, mentally. And looking back, that period really shaped my understanding of perseverance.
It really does. And that's the power of Larcena's story for me. It reminds you that you have that within you, that stubborn flame. Maybe it's not burning as brightly as hers had to, but it's there, waiting for those moments when you really need to tap into it. It's a quiet defiance, a silent strength that can move mountains, or in her case, 15 miles of desert.
Absolutely. It's an incredibly humbling story. To think of the sheer will, the refusal to surrender, that she displayed under such unimaginable circumstances, it just puts so much into perspective. It makes you grateful for the small comforts, but also aware of the immense strength we often don't realize we possess.
And that's the mystery, isn't it? Not just how she did it, but how any human being finds that inner wellspring when everything seems utterly lost. It's a mystery of the human spirit. Larcena Pennington Page, a name truly etched in the annals of endurance, even if it's not in every textbook.
Her legacy isn't just survival, it's a testament to an unyielding spirit, a true pioneer, not just in settling land, but in settling the question of what's possible.
Couldn't have said it better myself, Omar. This has been such a powerful story to uncover and share. We hope Larcena Pennington Page's journey has resonated with you, our listeners, and perhaps illuminated that quiet strength within yourselves.
It certainly resonated with me. Thank you for bringing this incredible piece of history to light, Luna. And to all our listeners, thank you for leaning in and joining us on another journey into the past.
Indeed. So dim the lights, settle in, and remember that sometimes the greatest mysteries are found in the quietest acts of endurance. We'll be back next time with another untold tale from the shadows. Until then, keep wondering, keep exploring, and keep that stubborn flame burning. Good night, everyone.
Good night.